Hi betting experts, we're going to take a look at the ante-post markets now with the Cheltenham Festival looming large on the horizon. I think the ground's going to be pretty near, sort of on the softer side of good as usual. That's what they aim for. The weather doesn't look particularly extreme. They'll water if they need to. We start off on the Tuesday in the 120, the Supreme Novice, and I think the value now very much lies with Romeo Coolio each way. Now, Gordon Elliott's got a typically strong hand in the novice division, and I really like this battle-hardened performer. He's really impressed me in winning 2 of his 3 starts over hurdles so far. There's nothing flash about him. He's not got an explosive turn of foot, but he's a sound jumper with a really good attitude. He's a finder, a grinder, and I think the increased emphasis on stamina up the Cheltenham Hill will play to his strengths under a positive ride when the chips are down. The short price favourite now, Capec des Borders. Well, I think I'm going to have to lean against him at the price. He's likely to be odds on, I'd imagine. Obviously, he was one of the most impressive winners you'll ever see at the Dublin Racing Festival. He jumped a lot better than he had on his debut. Very fluent, in fact, but he is a hard puller. And Supreme Novices tend not to be won by hard pullers who are fizzy and have got loads of speed. And he did have the run of the race at the Dublin Festival. They crawled for the first mile. He was in the perfect position. He just sauntered clear now. He could be an absolute superstar. But at the prices, I'd much sooner bet Romeo Coolio each way. He's around 6-1 with priced up bet. On to Wednesday, the 240, the Coral Cup. Obviously a fiendishly difficult handicap, but we're non-runner no bet now, so you've got nothing to lose by throwing a few darts at these races. You'll get your money back if they don't turn up. Be aware, likely to be entered up in a couple of these handicaps, but I think this is the best fit for him. He actually ran in a racecourse gallop Huntingdon during the week we're doing the recording for this video. He bolted 25 lengths clear there from the New Lion and a couple of other stablemates. He's obviously in rude health, and Dan has got a fantastic record in laying horses out to peak on the big day at the Cheltenham Festival. He's completely unexposed, this horse. I think a big field will really suit him. It will help him settle for perhaps the first time over hurdles. He's run 3 blinding races in top heritage handicaps this season since going handicapping, and he showed this track held no fears at all when running Burdett Road very close in November last year. Sticking to Wednesday, the 520, not normally a race I want to have a bet in, but I do think Wind Beneath My Wings at around 6-1 is a fair gamble for David Pipe. I've watched all the Irish bumpers this season, and I don't think there's a standout contender, but there certainly is a standout UK contender, and you're getting 6-1 because people suspect the Irish always win this race, which is true in recent years. But Wind Beneath My Wings looked the real deal when absolutely routing the field at Ascot in December. He's held in the highest regard at Pipe. I like the fact Jack Tudor will be up. Jack is a top-class jockey. I think he's the next John Frankham. I think he's going to be champion jockey one day. And I think Wind Beneath My Wings will be gunned from the tape. He's a relentless galloper. Hopefully be out of trouble and can make all the running. I think 6-1 with priced up bet, more than fair. On to Thursday, the 520, the Kim Muir. Well, Johnny Who is an unexposed chaser at a double-figure price. He went straight into the notebook for a festival handicap when finishing 3rd behind the Jukebox Man, who's sadly out for the season. That was at Newbury in November. He's been allotted what I think is a very lenient handicap mark. Now, jumping errors proved costly when he disappointed at Ascot in December next time, but that trip was far too short for him. 3 mile 2 round here. I think they've been hiding his light under a bushel until he gets a proper test of stamina, and if he can jump cleanly at a slower tempo, that'll help him. I think he'll go really close. He's 12-1, well worth an each way bet. Again, not sure to run in the Kim Muir, but non-runner no bet, nothing to lose. I think he's the sort of JP owned horse. He could start 6-1 in this race if everything turns up in one place for him. He's 12-1 at the moment. I think it's a good each way bet. Finally, the banker of the week, the 120 on Friday, the Triumph Hurdle. Lulamba has drifted out to 2-1. I think it's a maximum bet. Nicky Henderson has got so many horses to work them with at home, and he's always held this ex-French performer in the highest regard. He bolted up at Auteuil, joined these connections. He was really impressive at Ascot in January. You can knock the form, but it's begun to work out really well. I think there's been 3 winners come out in the last couple of weeks from in behind him. There, he didn't come off the bridle. I think he's head and shoulders above the UK opposition. There's much more to come from him. I think a strongly run race will suit him. These Triumph Hurdle aren't the races they used to be. Used to be 30 runner punting minefields. They're not anymore. They've got much higher class. There'll be a smaller field on the day. I think he's got East India Doc to beat. It was very impressive at the track last time out, but that was a pretty soft lead in a pretty weak race. I don't think he's in the same class as Lumumba. You're now getting 2-1. I think it's a maximum bet. The banker of the week. Best of luck with your Cheltenham Festival anti-post bets. Betting experts, please do check out our sponsor, Priced Up Bet.